Hello everyone, welcome to Open Word Broadcast with another episode. Today our topic or lesson is about the identity of the last beast, but it's a lengthy topic, so we will begin now in Daniel chapter 2, because there are about 5 major texts in the Bible, both in Old Testament and the New Testament. Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, Revelation chapter 13 and 17. There are about 5 major texts where we can study about the last kingdom or the beast that Bible talks about. And so we can look into these texts, and we are not going to do any theories or any perspectives, just like many other people, or scholars even, and the Bible teachers, they do it all the time. What I've seen that people, they start to talk about theories and views, and we never actually get into the text, what exactly the text is informing us. And I think that's really crucial for us to get into the biblical text, so we can see what exactly the scriptures are telling us, particularly in this case, that who is this beast. And so scriptures can give us better understanding, instead of we are approaching the Bible prophecy from other people's perspective or theories. So this is not what we are going to do, but we are going to dig into the scriptures and what exactly the scriptures are telling, and we will rely and trust what the scriptures are telling us. Okay, so our first scripture is Daniel chapter 2, and I think we are going to focus mainly on that because this is the starting point, where Daniel is in exile and Nebuchadnezzar is the king of Babylon, and he had this dream about a strange statue he saw, and he couldn't figure it out, that what's the meaning of this dream and statue. Cutting the story into short, Daniel interpreted the dream because his life and his friend's life were at stake as well, and God gave him wisdom and revelation so he can interpret the dream. So what was the dream, and what did the king see in his dream, and what was the interpretation by the Daniel as given to him by God? Okay, so our first major text is Daniel chapter 2. Okay, but let's straight away jump to the description of the dream and what that statue was like, and how Daniel explained the meanings of different elements in the statue or the image. So here it goes, Daniel chapter 2 and verse 32. It begins, "The image, its head was of good gold, its chest and its arms were of silver, its belly and thighs of copper or bronze, its legs of iron, its feet, part of them iron and part of them clay." Okay, now normally when people approach this text, Daniel chapter 2, they think there are 4 kingdoms here. But when we read the text properly and without any bias or without any prejudice, there are 5 kingdoms listed here. Okay, 5 kingdoms. Okay, the first one is of gold, number 1, and then his chest and arms of silver, that's number 2, and its belly and thighs of copper or bronze, that's number 3, and its iron legs, that's number 4, and its feet of iron and part of clay, that's number 5. Okay, I count them again because that's the major problem when it comes to interpreting Daniel chapter 2, and it's really crucial to see the 5 kingdoms as mentioned in the Bible and in the scriptures. Okay, so there are 5 kingdoms. Number 1 is of gold, number 2 is silver, and number 3 is bronze or copper, and number 4 is iron legs, and number 5 iron and clay mixture. Okay, so there are 5 kingdoms, not 4, because that's really crucial to know and remember, that there are 5 kingdoms mentioned in Daniel chapter 2. Okay, So normally when people interpret it, they say that there are 4 kingdoms. The reason, maybe they are biased, because when it comes to iron leg, they skip this one and consider it as 4 as well. But the Bible tells us this last one is the 5th one. Okay, it's not the 4th one. There are 5 different kingdoms, and the last one, or the 5th one in Daniel chapter 2, is the last one. So remember that, because it's not the 4th one here. And there is some history lesson as well, a little bit. Okay, remember, there is one particular kingdom. All kingdoms are missing in the statue. Okay, I go again. First is gold, that's Babylon. Number 2 is silver, that is Medo-Persians. Number 3 is bronze, that is Grecian Empire. And then it goes or jumps to number 4 as iron legs, as Rome. But something is missing between bronze, Grecian Empire and Roman Empire. That's 4 kingdoms. And these 4 kingdoms are skipped, and then straight away from Alexander's empire jumps to the Roman Empire. Okay, the reason you will find out later. It is called repetition patterns. So the 4 kingdoms are skipped here, and then the 4th one is Rome, 2 iron legs. And then there is a last one that is part of the iron and part of them clay. That's a different one. Iron clay is different than the 2 iron legs. So this is the 5th kingdom. Okay, I go again, because this is really crucial. I'm just reminding you again and again, because this is the foundation we're building, because this is going to establish in the future when we're going to study Daniel chapter 7 and chapter 8, Revelation chapter 13 and 17. This is going to help us clearly. Okay, gold and silver and copper, that is Grecian Empire. Then 4 kingdoms that came after Alexander's empire, they are skipped here only, but mentioned in chapter 7 and chapter 8, but they are skipped here, and that's for reason. But straight away it comes to number 4 as Rome. Rome is not number 4. It only is number 4 here in chapter 2. Please remember that. Rome is number 4 only in chapter 2. And number 5th is the last one here only. So remember these informations I'm giving you. Okay. Now, then in verse 38, these kingdoms are described, and Daniel gives the interpretation. Okay. Now, what does Daniel tell to the king? Okay, he says that you yourself are the head of gold. The Babylonian kingdom was represented as gold. Okay, and then came that another kingdom shall arise inferior to you, that is silver, that is Medo-Persians. And the third one is copper or bronze. That's talking about Alexander the Great, which shall have authority in all the earth. Now remember this one, all the earth. Now Alexander the Great, he did not conquer the whole world like 7 continents we have now. All the earth. Now in biblical terms, or in Bible prophecy, or in Bible, sometimes the whole earth doesn't mean the 7 continents. It could mean particular area. So in this case, we know that Alexander's empire was like from Greece, Macedonia, and then reached till Indo-Pakistan or subcontinent. So, and then here, also was established his kingdom further in northern Africa and the Middle East and Mesopotamia region, and all these regions, and Turkey and all these regions. So basically, this is not the whole earth or all the earth, because there were other continents. But Bible says all the earth. Okay, so just because when we're going to study Revelation, in future, so this is something you need to remember, that this will reappear, this information. So, and what does it mean by in all the earth? Okay. Now, the fourth kingdom shall be as mighty as iron. Now, this is Rome. Chapter 2 of Daniel. Only Rome is mentioned here as number 4, as iron legs, 2 iron legs. Now, Rome had, 2 parts of the empire. Like, one is the Western, and another one was Eastern Empire. So, the Western Empire lasted about till 5th century AD, and then the Eastern part, known as Byzantine Empire, lasted about for till 15th century, in the middle of the 15th century, and Ottomans, they came and took over. Okay, now the 5th kingdom is partly of clay and partly iron, because iron and clay cannot be mixed together. So this kingdom is going to be divided one. So there is a division in this kingdom, as told by Daniel, that this kingdom is very strong, this last kingdom is very strong, but it has some problem. So it's a rare combination of iron and clay. Iron makes it stronger, and clay means that kingdom is weak, and the weakness, and the reason of this weakness is it's divided. There is division. The people of this kingdom are divided. So something we need to remember. Okay, now the Babylonian in chapter 2, the Babylonian kingdom. The Nebuchadnezzar, he started reigning in 605 BC, and his kingdom lasted till 539 BC, and then came the Medo-Persians. Cyrus the Great attacked Babylon in 539 BC, and this Medo-Persian kingdom lasted or ended in 331 roundabout BC. So, and then came the Bronze Kingdom, Grecian Empire, or Alexander the Great. So, in about 331 BC or 32 BC, and his kingdom or empire, or he himself, lasted in 3 until 336 BC around. So he died earlier, and so he was very young. And then, as we know that his the 4 kingdoms that came after Alexander's divided empire, they are skipped in chapter 2, and then jump to Rome as number 4, only in chapter 2. So 2 iron legs, as I said, the Western Empire, it ended in about 476 AD, and then the Eastern part, known as Byzantine Empire, they are ended in about 1453 AD and fell into the Ottoman Empire. So that was the end of the Roman Empire. So the last kingdom was iron and clay mixture. So Daniel was told that this kingdom will be strong and weak. This kingdom is divided. And notice that the toes have 10 fingers, as we know. They represent 10 kings. Okay, so basically that was Daniel chapter 2 in short, that there are 5 kingdoms, and the last one is different. This one. So Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, and then iron and clay, last kingdom. And this is the kingdom that Jesus Christ is going to come and destroy. And then this statue and image will come down, or will be destroyed. All these kingdom, the history of these kingdoms, we know that it will come to an end, because this last kingdom represents or takes all the characteristics of all these kingdoms. But this last kingdom is different, and the king or the antichrist will be willing to fight against the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, that is Jesus Christ, but he will be destroyed. And so this kingdom will be destroyed. The